Hi everyone, welcome back. So let's continue our Eon topic, which is the citizen and the spinning wheel. So let's continue with another subtopic of this Eon. Commit to this new education, and Gandhi was confident that in 5 years India will be leading country in Asia. So let's see what this subtopic holds for us. Let's start with the four spaces. In July 1946, Gandhi writes that town existed before the arrival of British. Things were bad enough then, but now they are much worse because the towns have become cities devoted to enriching both Indian millionaires and British masters. Khadi is to undo the great mischief. That mischief is not just the British, but the spiritual situation that, for Gandhi, allowed the British to colonize India. This is a view Gandhi maintained throughout his life. In 1908, he argued that the British were able to establish themselves in India only because the Indian assist them. He writes that in order to become a rich all at once, the Indian welcomed British with open arms. So, what this passage is trying to say in July 1946, Gandhi writes that town existed before the arrival of British. So here Mahatma Gandhi says that the town existed in India even before the Britishers were come. The things were bad enough then, but now the things are much worse because the towns have become cities devoted to enriching both Indians millionaires and British masters. So, further he says that the things were bad enough then, but now they are worse. He says earlier, uh, there is still the things in India or Indian towns are bad, but now the condition is worse. And why? Because the town have become cities devoted to enrich both Indian millionaires and Britishers. Why it is worse? Because now the town is ruled by Indian millionaires or British masters. Khadi is to undo the great mischief that we can use Khadi as a tool here to deal with the situation. That mischief is not just British but the spiritual situation that Gandhi allowed the British to colonize India. So, because of Khadi, we can use this tool to bring out the spiritual situation because earlier because of that richness and that classiness, British take over India and rule over us. This is a view Gandhi maintained throughout his life. In 1908, he argued that the British were able to establish themselves in India because the Indians assist them. So that's the Mahatma Gandhi view that through the Khadi, we bring this spirituality in Indian towns so that we can just uh, send the Britisher back to their own country. That's his view throughout his life till his death. That's his common view. So in 1908, Mahatma Gandhi argued that the Britishers were able to establish themselves in India only because the Indian assist them. He, he's saying that because of our assistance, because of us, Britishers were ruling over us now. Because in 1908, we allow Britishers to our country. We assist them to rule over us. And how it happens? He writes that in order to become rich all at once, the Indian welcomed the British with open arms. To getting rich all at once, that time Indians welcomed Britishers with open arms to destroy our country. So the title given to this particular passage is How Britishers Take Over India. And what important points we can take from here? The town has become cities devoted to enriching both Indian milliners and British masters. Khadi is to undo the great mischief. The British were able to establish themselves in India only because the Indian assisted them. In order to become rich at all once, the Indian welcomed British with open arms. So let's moving toward the next places. In the in the autumn of 1946, Gandhi was still hoping that Nehru understood or could be made to understand the importance of khadi. Gandhi says, "We shall have full freedom only when our uncrowned King Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru and his colleague in the interim government devote themselves to the service of the poor as people expect them to do." He quoted Nehru as having called Khadi the livery of our freedom. So here Mahatma Gandhi says that in autumn of 1946, Gandhi is still hoping that Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru understood the importance of Khadi. Only because of that, and only because of with the help of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, we are able to get freedom. So the best title given to this particular passage is what hope Mahatma Gandhi still have. No, 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 not that. Hope of Mahatma Gandhi from Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. And what important line we can pick from here? Full freedom only when our uncrowned King Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru and his colleague in the interim government devote themselves to the service of poor as people expect to do so. And Khadi, the livery of our freedom. That's important line we can take. Let's moving toward the next one. In May 1947, Gandhi pleaded for government workers to forget their quarrel and disputes over ideologies and start learning and teaching spinning, khadi work, and village industries. If they commit to this new kind of education, Gandhi expressed confidence that in 5 years, India will be a leading country in Asia. So, what here Mahatma Gandhi tried to say that in May 1947, Gandhi pleaded for the government workers to forget their quarrels and disputes over ideology and start learning, teaching, and teaching spinning, khadi, work, and village industry. So here, Mahatma Gandhi pleaded to the employees of the government of India to forget about any kind of a quarrel and disputes over ideologies and start learning and teaching spinning khadi, work, and the village industry because our majority works there, majority lives there. If they commit to this new kind of educations, Gandhi expressed a confidence that in 5 years India will be a leading country in Asia. So Mahatma Gandhi says that if we commit to this educations, he is confident enough to say that in 5 years India will be the leading country in Asia. So we just summarize this whole passage that Mahatma Gandhi plead government workers to start learning and teaching spinning, and with continuation of that education, he is confident enough to say that in 5 years India will be leading country in Asia. Let's move into the next phases. But over the course of 1947, it became increasingly clear that Gandhi was not going to win the argument. In June, he bemoaned the situation, calling the other independence leader selfish. In November, Gandhi writes that if the village industries are neglected in an independent India, we will be acting like a man who remember God in sorrow and forget him when he showers happiness. Later that month, he confessed that talk of khadi and village industry does not interest people anymore. I know that khadi and all elite activities have shackled because slacked because we have achieved Swaraj. Gandhi writes, India will get what it ordained for her. What can we do? So here Mahatma Gandhi is kind of a disappointed after the situation after independence. He says that, but over the course of 1947, it became increasingly clear that the Gandhi was not going to win the argument. His argument is to continue the education of his spinning wheel and village industry. So in June, he bemoaned the situation, calling other independence leaders selfish. In June, Mahatma Gandhi called other independence leaders selfish. And why say so? Because in November, Gandhi write that if the village industry were are neglected in an independence India, we will be acting like a man who remember God in sorrow and forget him when he showers happiness. Yes, because of Khadi, we got independence. Now we are a free India. But now what happens? That because of Khadi we got independence, but now the people are not interested even in this topic and even the village industries. So Mahatma Gandhi just quoted one thing that now the people of India after independence acting like a man who remember a God in sorrow and forget him when he showers with happiness. He he's just clearly trying to say that the thing because of that you got freedom. Yeah, now after getting freedom, whatever you want, you don't care about that thing much because now that things the purpose of thing is finished, so you just forget about that. And later that month, he confessed that the talk of khadi and the village industry does not interest people anymore. He further says that now that thing does not interest in the people because now we got the freedom what we want. But now the people don't care about what the purpose we started all this thing and how we got that freedom. I know that khadi and all elite activities have slacked because we have achieved Swaraj. So he said that we know all these things is just now not that much of in news or in the what we can say that he say Mahatma Gandhi knew that now the work or talk about khadi and village industry is not working because we get what we want. So people don't care how we started and how we plan how it's going on. And he further say that India will get what is ordained for her. What we can do. That India will get what it is want. Now why we what we can do? We can't do anything. People change because situation changed. So the title should given to this species. What happened with Khadi motto after independence? Or also we can just also give put another title to this species is why Mahatma Gandhi is unhappy with the situation in India after independence. So, what the important point we can pick from this passage is the village industries are neglected in an independent India. We will acting like a man who remember God in sorrow and forget him when he showers happiness. Talk of khadi and village industry does not interest people anymore. The khadi and all elite activities have slacked because we have achieved Swaraj. And India will get what it ordained for. So let's moving toward the next pieces. In the days and week leading up to his death in January 1948, Gandhi began suggesting a new political system designed to empower the villages, the Panchayati Raj. Representative democracy could not be relied upon to integrate the economy and religion into a system that unites the need to survive with the need to spirituality thrives. But before his alternative political system could be elaborated, much less implemented, Gandhi was assassinated. Just a few weeks earlier, in December 1947, Gandhi had lamented that the main implication of Khadi was not grasped by the independence movement. He said he had no doubt that Khadi is more important than ever if we are to have freedom or for the masses of the villages of India. Though Khadi, Gandhi struggled to establish supremacy of man over machine. He strove for equality of all men and women, and he strove to attain sub- subservience of capital under labor in place of the insolent triumph of capital over labor. So, in this passage, what Mahatma Gandhi tried to say that in the days and weeks leading up to his death in January 1948, Gandhi began suggesting a new political system designed to empower the villages panchayati raj. So before his death, Mahatma Gandhi suggesting a new political system to design the empower the village, the panchayati raj. Representative democracy could not be relied upon to integrate the economy and religion into a system that unites the need to survive with the need to spiritual thrives. So here Mahatma Gandhi says that democracy could not be relied upon to integrate the economy or religious into a system that unites the need to survive with the need of spiritual thrive. For democracy, for survival of the democracy, we don't need to rely on the economy or religion system, but so that's why he just starting to empower the village political system. But before his alternative political system could be elaborated, much less implemented, the Gandhi was assassinated. So before his political system could elaborate and any other rules and regulation will come, he was assassinated. Just a few weeks earlier in December 1947, Gandhi had lamented that the main implication of Khadi was not grasped by the independence movement. So just before his death, a month before his death, the Mahatma Gandhi just said that the main implication of Khadi was not just getting independence. He said that he had no doubt that khadi is more important than ever if we have to have freedom for the masses of villagers of India. So here he says that the importance of khadi is much more. It's not just only related to the independence of India, but the giving a freedom to the masses of villagers of India. Through khadi, Gandhi struggled to establish supremacy of men over machine. So through Gandhi, Mahatma Gandhi faces struggle to just to establish a supremacy of man over machines. Still, machine is in more power than man. He strove for equality of all men and women, and he strove to attain subservience of capital under labor in place of the insolent triumph of capital over labor. So, because of this, his main motto is to just create capital under labor, not the capital over labor. That labors are more important over money. But now, still, the situation is money is more important than the labor. So, what the title should give into this basis is Mahatma Gandhi New Political System. And what we can take important points from here, a new political system designed to empower the villages, the Panchayati Raj. The representative democracy could not be rely upon the integrated the economy and the religion into system that unites need to survive with need to spiritual thrive. Spirituality works here. The main implication of Khadi was not grasped by the independence movement. To establish the supremacy of man over machine and to attain a super subservience of capital under labor in place to insolent triumph of capital over labor. So let's moving toward the next basis. So Gandhi saw Varna as a way to discipline capital so that it served life. But his vision for the role of Varna system was always Chuseok. Indians include Nehru embraced economic modernization. As Nehru put it, he felt there was no reason why millions of Indians should not have comfortable, up to date homes where they can lead a cultured existence. This was to be achieved with electricity, trade, modern transportation, and heavy industry, not with the return of traditional village craft. Gandhi left open the possibility that if India felt it good and necessary, then they could add new profession beyond the traditional craft. He recognized that political decision making is difficult and requires capacities and specialities that are not easily cultivated in people. Even deeply religious people who are sincerely committed to the truth often disagree with one another, and for Gandhi, this was a baked into the human condition. Here, what Mahatma Gandhi observed that. So, Gandhi saw Varna as a way to discipline capital so that it served life. So, he saw that through the Varna system, through the traditional craft method, we can discipline capital for our survival. But his vision of a role of Varna system is not working anymore. And why so? The Indian, including Nehru, embraced economic and modernizations. So now the Indian, even including the Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, believes to embrace economy modernization. As Nehru put it, he felt there was no reason why millions of Indians should not have comfortable, up-to-date home where they can lead a cultural existence. So here Mahatma Gandhi felt that now there is no reason that we don't have comfortable, up-to-date homes where we can lead a cultural existence. This was to be achieved with electricity, trade, modern transportation, and heavy industry, not with the return of traditional village craft. So here, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru believes that we can achieve a modernization, comfortable, up-to-date home only through the electricity, trade, modern transport, and heavy industry, not with the return of traditional village craft. Gandhi left open the possibility that if Indians felt it good and necessary, then they could add a new professional beyond the traditional craft. So here Mahatma Gandhi said that okay, he's not completely disagree with this ideology, but he said that if we want it, it's a good and it is necessary. We can add all this thing along with the craft, traditional craft. He recognized that the political decision making is difficult and required capacities and specialities that are not easily cultivated in people. So now he recognized that for making any political decisions, it is difficult to convince the people at one particular point. Even a deeply religious people who are sincerely committed to the truth often disagree with one another, and for Gandhi this was a baked into human condition. So now Mahatma Gandhi just believes that, or just realize that it's a common human tendency that we all are not agree with one single thing. One have their own opinion. So this the title should given to this species is Mahatma Gandhi's realizations and the vision of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. And what important point we can pick from here is that the role of Varna system was always toxic, and Varna as a way to discipline capital. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru embraced economic modernization. No reason why millions of Indians should not have comfortable, up-to-date homes. Where they can lead a cultural existence. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. Introduction of electricity, train, modern transportation, and heavy industry. Not return to a traditional village craft. And Mahatma Gandhi believed that add new profession beyond the traditional craft. And Mahatma Gandhi realized that the political decision making is difficult and required capacity and speciality that are not easily cultivated in people. So let's move into what the next species and last species of today's video. In 1930s, Gandhi had written that while all faiths constitute a revelation of truth, they're all imperfect and liable to error. He suggested that this stems from the fact that while the soul is one and the bodies which she animates are many, since we cannot reduce the number of bodies, faith in the unity will partake of human imperfection. Embodied human beings will put their faith into such language as they can command, and their words are interpreted by other imperfect beings. Everyone will think themselves right, but it is not impossible that everyone is wrong. This process a need for tolerance, not an indifference toward one's own faith, but a purer love for it. So, what here Mahatma Gandhi tried to say that in 1930s, Mahatma Gandhi had written that with all faith constitute a revelation of truth, they all are imperfect and liable to error. So he just directly trying to say that in the revelation of truth, they are all imperfect and liable to error. Further, he suggested that this stemmed from the fact that while the soul is one, the body which she animates are many. So he just trying to give example with supporting his statement that our soul is one, but we have different bodies in every birth. Since we cannot reduce the number of bodies, faith in the unity will partake human imperfection. So, as we have one single soul and different bodies, so the perfection is completely impossible. And unity of our all both is completely impossible. Embodied human being will be put their faith into such language as they can command, and their word are interpreted by other imperfect being. So as a human, we put our faith as a command which other imperfect person can listen. Everyone will think themselves right, but it is impossible that everyone is wrong. So it is in general, every person think they are right, but it is impossible to say that everyone is wrong. We should listen to each other. We are not every time a right person. This produces a need for tolerance, not an indifference toward one's own faith, but a purer love for it. So here, Mahatma Gandhi says that it about tolerance. We should listen to other people's opinion as well, because it is not every time right that you whatever you are believing and have faith in is always right. But that we should not. We should be faith. We should be faith about our visions, but it doesn't mean that we purely love for it. We don't attach to our just opinions too much. So here, what Mahatma Gandhi believes about human tendency. What we can take from here: all faith constitute a revelation of truth. They are all imperfect and reliable to error. The soul is one and the body which she animates are many. We cannot reduce the number of body. The faith in unity will partake a human imperfection. Faith into a language as they can command and their words are interpreted by other imperfect beings. It is not impossible that everyone is wrong. Indifference toward one's own faith, but a pure love for it. So that's all for today. Hope you guys understand this passage and like it. As of now, have a great day.